Alright, warm up 1, I'm going to demonstrate 2 or 3 of each exercise, but unless otherwise noted, is about, you could think about 8 to 12, maybe 10 is a perfect number for each. So we're going to start with hurdle over unders. Step over a hurdle, go right back under. Obviously it doesn't have to be a hurdle. Can also be barbell in a rack, a band, something like that. Sprinter wall hinge, so we're going to have our hands on the wall. For balance, we're going to sink into this hip, making sure we get some nice length through this glute. And we're going to step up, making sure we finish in a hip lock. I'll show you from the other angle in a sec, but for here, making sure I'm really nice and long through the back. I'm opening up through the glute. My pelvis faces the floor. And end up in this position we call hip lock, where we have one side of the pelvis higher than and in front of the stance side. And so from the front, I'm going to show from a different angle here. It's going to look something like this. Again, we're not open up here. A common mistake is we don't actually close the hip to get length through the glute. 1 and 2. 2-point balance TikToks. We're going to use the base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe as our main context of support, keeping the heel off the ground. When TikToks is going back and forth with the foot, challenging our balance, challenging our stability. Start with 50 for each leg, and then switch to maybe 100 once you get pretty good at these. These go from, especially if you haven't done them in a while or you haven't done them ever, these go from moderately difficult and a little bit slower to you can really go a little bit faster. And again, we're gonna follow that up. We're gonna do 2 sets. 1, TikTok back and forth, and 1, front to back. Again, challenging our stability in a couple ranges of motion here. It's not important the amplitude of the free leg. It doesn't need to be a stretch or anything like that. It's really just meant to challenge your balance. I want to see the heel tap the ground occasionally because you're pushing yourself to be a little more stable. I don't care about the perfect single leg stance in a static position. That doesn't matter. We want to build active proprioception here. Mogul hops. We're going to go back and forth across the line, get low, back and forth without rising up over a line, quick off the ground, and hop. We're going to do a down dog into a lunge. It's going to be a scapular down dog, so we really want to make sure we're not just flopping passively into our down dog position. We're actively pushing through the scapula with our elbows pointed straight back the whole time. So what it looks like from 2 different angles here is we push ourselves back and then push ourselves into a lunge. Push back, push into a lunge. And if I show from the opposite angle, hurdle trail leg circles, raising up again the free side of the pelvis up and forward, so we're not just circling with our hip, we're also allowing this side of the pelvis to move up and around in a circle, being really strong through the support leg. We're up on the ball of the foot on the support leg pretty much the entire time. That's allowing us to coordinate this movement, raising the pelvis with rising up on the toes, which is what happens in athletic movement. The foot should be right next to the barrier that you're going over. Again, don't care if it's not a hurdle. And the other key point is knee higher than the toes. Knee to the armpit is kind of the ideal here. Hurdle rollovers, we're just going to always roll towards the leg that's in front from this position. If your knee has to come off, if you need to be, if it doesn't look as perfect, that's fine, but we want to find this position and move around on the floor. Roll, chest touches the ground, leg comes behind, and lean forward towards your foot. Roll, lean, lean. open side, the straight leg side. That's the way you roll. And if you do that, you'll likely do this fine. Last movement is spine flopovers. We're going to end up starting out. The last movement is spine flopovers. We're going to start out in our iron cross here. Feet out to the side, one leg, 90 at the hip, 90 at the knee, 90 at the ankle. And just reach as far as you can to the side, as you can't go any further. The whole spine follows. And then reverse the wave. So leg first, finish is just flopping to the side. This one you don't quite have to go to 10 or 12, I think 5 or 6 is just fine. Really relax, let go. Good inhale as you lean over. Moving your body again, just letting the leg roll the rest of the body over, letting the shoulder roll the rest of the body over. Rolling over the side of the pelvis, helping our pelvis to move a little bit better.